so on. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Winning Ways. Lafferty's just giving me a rundown on my whole life, which is quite amusing, actually. But another week has gone by and flown by, and we've got another wonderful show for you. So I hope you enjoy it. But firstly, I see that you cracked it lucky in the FA Cup.
Yeah, comfortably beat Fulham away. We played a strong side because we've got a week's gap till we play Stoke, so he sent out a strong side. I see the lucky fish, Man United, Zlatan, the old bully, saved them again.
Yeah, well, he was turned down by our man Wenger. You know, Wenger said that he was too old 2 years ago to sign Zlatan. Okay, so what we got is Giroud instead, which is really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
You don't like Giroud. I like Giroud.
And Giroud, he's got a scorpion kick.
Yeah, but don't forget, James, there's still one game left in that FA Cup fifth round.
Yeah, tonight, while you're watching Winning Ways,
Sutton.
As soon as you finish watching Winning Ways, you'll be able to go out and watch Sutton, your team.
Yeah, Sutton is a 9-9 in the win from
They'll beat us.
Mark Aboud's house, and it's about 2 k's from my house.
They'll beat us.
No, they won't beat us. Arsenal will play the youngsters tonight.
Okay, well...
No, Sutton in the 5th tier of football, but Burnley got beaten by a team from the 5th tier.
Yeah, and you've got to play them.
No, we got Millwall.
Oh, you've got Millwall, of course.
Millwall at home. We drew Millwall at home.
Lincoln, we've got to play them. If we win tonight, we've got to play Lincoln.
That's a nice draw into the semis.
Yeah, Chelsea, Man U to play each other.
Great game, because Chelsea beat Man U when they met last time.
And they'll beat them again.
You think so?
Definitely.
Man U improved. They don't lose too easily these days.
No, they'll get beaten. Spurs, will you beat Millwall?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
London
the other
derby.
thing to watch, the other thing which was fascinating over the weekend was the one day at...
Fantastic.
How did we win that? New Zealand actually
we were 88 for naught, James.
Yeah.
Cantrin.
Yeah.
Cantrin.
Well, De Kock again shows that he's one of the greatest talents in the world.
In good touch. And AB was hit the winning runs, but
he was absolutely phenomenal.
He went about it quietly. And who was the guy at the end of them who was launching them?
Pinnakoya.
Yeah, that guy.
He
launched him over the... He did me proud. I was very proud of that guy. I don't know him well, but I was very proud of him. I don't know him well at all. I haven't met him.
This week sees the start of Super Rugby.
Is it this week? Eh?
Yeah.
Come on, you Sharks.
So that should be very, very interesting. Sharks have got to travel to Australia. I think we play the Queensland Reds.
Yes, we do.
Which might be an interesting game, although the Reds have fallen over and died the last few years.
They've been off form.
And the Sharks have got a strong side. I'm interested to see how Robert Dupree goes as a coach.
Yeah, he's got fantastic kids playing the game. He was a great player himself, a big scrum half. And it's a different job when you take control of a side or a franchise. It's damn difficult. I know with Teichmann's backing and that, they want to get people back to the ground. And I hope they do, because it's a great venue here. It's a great function.
It's one of the greatest franchises in rugby. It's the Sharks franchise. And when they're playing well, they get supported, but the crowd shows straight away when they're not playing well.
We didn't make semis last year, James. We didn't make the semis. And everyone wants to be in the semis.
Yeah, everyone wants the semi.
That's right. Everyone wants a semi. So let's hope this year we get the semi.
Okay, well, here we go. Let's go for the semi. We're going to go and show you 3 to follow. Well, we got a couple to follow this week that won first time out, because we think these could be exceptional horses. And the first one we go to is Turfentine. Let's go and have a look at this race. So it's absolutely one of the best runs from a first time I've ever seen. Simply Royal, drawn on the outside. It had absolutely no chance after the jump. You cannot win from here. Watch out, one.
Yeah, here we go. You can see it's not drawn well, Simply Royal, and beautifully bred horse by Ali Diat. Silvana, thank you. Comes out slowly here, and he's got a conveyor belt of good horses, Sean Terry, and especially young horses. And this is no exception. It's still 3 deep. Have a look where it is at the back. The pace is on. I remember
pulling like a dentist.
Yeah, pulling like an irate dentist. And I remember watching this race, and I thought, Oh, I don't think that was going to win the first time out. It's got a lot to do from the draw. And as I was watching it unfold up front, I saw this was picking them off, James.
Well, it picked them off with consummate ease, as they say. And in fact, when it went down, I thought it reminded me very much of Empress Club going down first time out. I think this is a top filly. In fact, I think it was one of the best fillies we've seen for a long time. Watch it now. He just starts running through them, and it wasn't like it was a bad field. There were horses with good form in the race.
Striker's in front and just been overtaken because I thought Striker might win it. And then suddenly I saw, look at this thing. Wow, when it pins its ears back, James, it's going two to their way.
He hasn't even picked up the stick. He's just given it a hands ride. It's a run past them like they're absolutely standing still. And look at the stride on it. It has got an unbelievable
Raymond Danielson
action.
picked up the ride the day before. I heard him talking, and this is one of the nicer horses. He's managed to put his leg over.
Well, bred by Ascot and trained by Sean Terry, I would think Danielson would want to keep this ride.
Do you think Mr. Kumalo, our friend Bling's going to say, that's mine?
Okay, well, let's move on and go and have a look at Cape Town. Same day, and we watched a first-timer from the Platner Yard, Andre Nels, win like a really good horse too. Nicely named.
Homebred, James.
Yeah.
They've sent a lot of horses to top stallions, and this is obviously by VAR, and there was money for it, James. People were talking on the course that this horse could run, and what it did in the last furlong showed that it
really can run.
Really can run. Let's
pick it up at the start. It's drawn 8, so there you are in the Platner colours.
Yeah, it's out of Just Luck Flow, the Eliodor mare, and you can see it gets swamped. When they all come across it. You see it here. I remember watching it saying there's a lot of talk about this horse. Let's see how good it is. And the speed was on. They were going quickly. And this horse is just in behind them, just waiting to pounce. This has got a big future, James.
Well, it shows how mature Elder de Meer's got as a rider. He never panicked on this horse. He was always chasing them. And the speed was on from the front. And, he just waited his turn, put it in the race going through the 400-metre mark, asked it to quicken. And this could be something special.
Something really special. Another filly, James. Elder, as you say, he's matured as a rider. He rode another winner for the stable late in the day. It was a superb ride to get it up. But watch this horse quicken now, James.
Yeah, the other one was Campari, but this just gets one smack. She's out of that very good Flow family.
Just like
Alchemy,
Flow by You, and all
Flow by You, and then and really that one in a common canter, and it's a beautiful filly. Looks like a really fast filly.
How do you pronounce its name, James?
Its name is Straatkund.
Okay.
Straatkund.
Street Child.
Street Child, yeah.
So it's named by a scarp.
Yeah.
Okay. Straatkund. Okay.
Straatkund. Street Child. Might be German.
Okay. Could be.
Mrs. Platner. Could
well be. Well done, James. You are a font.
No, but the next one I want to know where that name came from. Anyway, it goes to Greyville, Sunday, first race, Lav's horse all the rage. Looks like he needs to be pickpocketed very quickly.
Me?
Yeah, the horse. You've done. Okay.
I've been pickpocketed.
Because this horse actually tossed the race. And the horse that ran third is the horse we picked up. Another VAR. And my goodness, what a lovely looking horse. Let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, I remember speaking to Tony about this horse, and he said he just needs a bit of experience. He's a big horse. He shot up, and they sent it back. He spoke to Mary and said, let it go back to the farm. It just needs a bit more time, and he's given it the time. And you can see it in the green cap, 2 off the outside. A very nice horse, this. And it's out of Cupid's daughter. And look at it, second last. The winner's in green. My horse who's runner-up is in pink, in Happy's colours. So this horse is still very wide at the back here, this Kuvara.
Yeah, the speed's in front. The winner is in the lime green colours. Yours is in the pink. Yours looks like it's got this race all over. Kuvara runs into trouble there and has got 5 or 6 or 7 to make up at this stage. Doesn't really know what's going on. It then comes out. Warren Kennedy gets it out for a run, and it starts running on really strongly in the green cap. Now he gets a smack. Still got 4 in front of it, and really runs on extremely well. This horse under quite a patient ride the last 100. You've got to say.
Very impressive.
This horse will go on and win some races.
That's very impressive.
A very, very nice horse.
3 nice horses this week, James.
Yeah, I think that they find a bit of quality. Some weeks it's quite hard to find horses that you think are really going to go on and certainly win the next start or go on to be good horses. But I think the first two look like they could be very nice horses. Yeah. And Kuvara, you know, Robbie's easy on them. He doesn't push in, so you'd find that this horse will probably improve quite a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to go and have a look at Blast from the Past. We've got the Vulgabos fillies, guineas.
Meters, R500,000, and away they go to a superb start here. Bichette, Siren's Call got away really well. Quinter's outside of those. Olma, Kissimmee, Smart Call, they're all up there in the early stages. Tamani's racing wide in the early part. Then comes Sensible Lover. Kylie is further back in the field. Behind that same jurisdiction, had to get taken up for a stride or two there. Now races about 8 lengths off the leader. Further back behind those, Trophy Wife, Silver Class. Then comes Pennington Sands, and Bilateral as the back marker. They race towards the 1,000-meter marker. Smart Call that leads. Smart Call leads by 1.5 lengths. Pine Princess racing second. Quinter's in third. Then comes Bichette and Siren's Call. Almost 6 lengths off them with Kissimmee. Further back to Marnie, then comes Sensible Lover and Kylie. Silver Class behind that with Trophy Wife. Same jurisdiction's got 12 to make up. Behind that Pennington Sands and Bilateral as they turn for home. In the Fulker-Boss Drift, Gauteng Fillies, Guinea, Smart Call the one to beat. On the outside of those, Pine Princess, Bichette, Siren's Call, Alma further back to Marnie's making headway. Quinter's down the inside. On the outside, same jurisdictions running on. Got 3 lengths to make up, 300 out. Smart Call still the leader. Siren's Call, same jurisdiction. Trophy Wife is finding a good finish late. 200 out. Smart Call on the outside. Trophy Wife. Between them is Siren's Call. Trophy Wife. Siren's Call. These two. Siren's Call is going to win the Fillies Guineas. Siren's Call beats Trophy Wife. Third place will go to Smart Call. Then came Tamani.
Well, this was the first leg of the Triple Crown attempt by Siren's Call. She lost the last leg, which was the Oaks, because I think she had a shoe replaced. That might have had something to do with it.
Trouble down at the gate with
Peter the Bad Breeder.
Very unlucky. And it was beaten a whisker.
Yeah.
I think it might have been beaten by a horse who ran in this race as well.
Well, what's interesting is Smart Call got beaten here, and she turned out to be one of the best fillies in South Africa, if not the best filly of her time. She just needed time, Smart Call, to mature.
Yeah. Very
she wasn't
good
really strong enough.
She won the Met.
Yeah, she
James,
won the Met like a proper horse.
The Bilateral, I think, as a 2-year-old, won a Group 1.
Yeah.
Same jurisdiction, won a Group 1. Pine Princess was the horse who scuppered the chances of the winner winning the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Michael de Kock. So this was a very good bunch of fillies, James.
Very good bunch of fillies. And we've got, first week in March, you've got whole big shebang starting again at Turfentine. Should be fun. We're going to go and have a look at Plum of the Week.
On the outside, Patch It Up Baby. Behind that, Sedata had to get taken up, and down the inside is Silver Stripe. But Patch It Up Baby has gone from last to first. Silver Stripe is a chaser down the inside, and then in an instant, it's Patch It Up Baby and Silver Stripe to fight it out in LA France. Patch It Up Baby's going on powerfully now, and Patch It Up Baby, Gavin Larena, a third winner. Second, Silver Stripe, 2 lengths away to in an instant, and in behind that came Seal My Face.
Well, there you go, Patch It Up Baby. She's waited a long time to win this type of race. She's a very, very nice filly, daughter of Ideal World, owned by Larry Nestat and Anton Proctor, I think, and Anton might have bred her.
Yeah.
But she got a good ride from Gavin Larena. Sat her at the back of the race.
He
took out half the field.
He took out half the field, so he could be in the hot seat. But I've always liked this horse, always shown a lot of ability, even when it was down with Duncan and up there.
Stays very well, likes the long straight.
Yeah.
I think that's in its favour. And you could have got 2-1 about this filly at the opening betting on Interbet, and she ended up 15-10, as much as you like.
Yeah.
And she did look like an absolute blinder, because Gavin Lorena is really riding well, and we'll talk about him later in current affairs. But certainly you had to have the Interbet account to get the best price about this one.
Love soccer and you play the tote, you won't believe what Interbet has to offer you, or the excitement of tote betting on your computer or your cell phone. It's simple. Choose your teams and your bets, work out what your combinations will cost, see how big the pool is, and place your bets. You can even track your bet live as it happens and get updates on your progress. It's all the fun of the tote on your phone. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now at www.interbet.co.za and you could be a winner.
Well, not only did we pick this horse out as one to follow, but the graduate of the week for Bloodstock South Africa is a 2.7 million rand buy from the 2015 National Yearling Sales. She won in a canter over 1,200 meters, as you saw, for Al Adiyat, bred by Ascot Stud. Simply Royal was the second top price filly sold at the 2015 National Yearling Sale. She's a daughter of former champion Silvano and Grade 1 Takini Stakes winner Royal Fantasy. Beautiful Ascot bred, and really was one of the picks of the National Yearling Sales. And she turned out that she might be one of the racehorses from that sale.
She's got a massive future, and yeah, well done Ascot. They perennially send out top horses. They're very good breeders down in the Eastern Cape. Well done to them.
All right, let's talk about Gav Lorena first. You know, he rode his 1500th winner on Turfentine on Saturday. He then rode Patch It Up Baby, which won the big race, the LA France. And the day was commentated, the race was commentated, was that horse Brazuca won. It was a 5-horse field by a new youngster, Brandon Bailey.
I listened to the race. I thought it was a very good commentary. I was sitting at home, and when they came onto track, I said, this is a different voice. And then I think it was Julie said, Brandon Bailey's going to call the race. So then I picked my ears up and listened, and I thought it was a very good call, James.
I'm looking forward to doing another call.
Have you done one?
Yeah, one.
I remember Bonsky did one.
Yeah.
Bonsky did.
Yeah.
So how was your call?
No, it was very good.
Did it?
Yeah,
You were invited back?
Yeah, I stumbled over my tats and had a lovely time.
I wonder they should get all the presenters to call a race.
All of them.
Get every guy who's presenting.
Can you imagine these calling a race?
No, we get the lot from right the way around the country, from Stan to myself. Call a race. Just get one race. Pick your race, and let's see. It'll add a bit of flavour.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big field. You can do it with a little field.
That's right. You can do it out. No,
Okay.
you don't want it too small, James, because it gets very repetitive. So we've got to get Bonsky to have a 16-horse field, or myself to have a 16-horse field.
Yeah.
A bit of fun.
It
Would you call another race, James?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you keep looking away while I'm talking to you? Would you call another race?
I'm trying to see what's next on current affairs. I want to know, keep with the program, because you certainly can't. You haven't got your glasses on. There's no way you can read
there you are. Sorry. James, okay. Brandon Bailey, a name to remember. Let's move on now. A perfectly bred horse won. And in Dubai, and you say you don't normally have a nice touch, but you really thought this stood out.
Well, Zarak is its name, and it's by Dubawi out of Zarkava. Now, Zarkava was a champion filly. Dubawi, a champion stallion. And it ran in the Group 3 Dubai Millennium, the last race of the day on Thursday. On the grass, 2,000 meters. This horse had run second in the French Derby, and also multiple Group 1 place. This is a really good horse, and it's come for the carnival. And I would think the duty free would probably be its mission. Or the Shima. Would it be the Shima or the duty free? One of the
Either or.
Yeah. The duty free is what, 1,800, and the Shima's 2,400.
Yeah, 1770, the duty free, 1,800 roughly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this horse Zarak, keep an eye on it. But it was a good evening as well for Mike. Mike had Noah from Goa running in the big race, and got beaten second. Yeah, got beaten by one in the Zabeel Mile, and I think that Noah is going to be better over a bit further.
Yeah, Noah's a very good horse, and it's paying its way.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely
$60,000 for second.
The other big race on the day was the Balanchine, which Mike didn't have any runners in, and it was won by Opal Tiara. Mick Channon bred this horse and trained it. Nice to see him.
Great guy. Wonderful to see him there. Year in and year out, James, he sends out good horses.
Yeah. So that was racing in Dubai. We've got heading up for Super Saturday. That's in 10 days' time.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing what goes on there. That's going to be fun.
Are you going to go?
I wish I could go. I'm trying to organise money, but you know what? At the end of the day,
no, James, make a plan. It's about time. You normally go to Super Saturday, and James, they're thrown in a meeting on the Thursday night as well, which is unusual. So a nice double header for you.
Should be fun, but let's move on. Winks won 14 out of 14, winning the Apollo Stakes at Randwick. That race was postponed from the Saturday because of the heat.
Yeah.
And she came out and absolutely doddled it.
She is superstar by Street Crown.
Yeah.
They not often they tout, but they tout in this as the best horse in the world.
Yeah. Talking about the other superstar, California Chrome's sire died. Lucky Pulpit at the age of 16.
Lucky Pulpit, his name's in lights because of California Chrome, isn't it the fact?
Absolutely, and in fact, he had $24 million worth of earnings from his progeny, Lucky Pulpit. 14 million was from California Chrome.
There you go. So he's thrown out. I see the Magic Millions at the Tasmanian sale, James, up again.
Up again, top lot up from 115,000 to 160,000 Aussie. Which is a big price for Tasmanian sale, and the average was up to $24,000. $24,000 average in Tasmania. R250,000 average at Tasmania.
Get down to Hobart.
Vincock said very good sale, keeps growing, gets lots of support out there, and he's really pleased for everyone concerned. And obviously, if you've ever been to a Magic Million sale, you'll know that they are the greatest fun. And we're heading for Adelaide? Is that the next sale?
Adelaide is on the 12th, 13th, 14th round of March.
And then obviously the June sale.
Then the June sale, end of May, June is weanlings, mares.
You've got to start getting organised because you've got to get a visa for it. So you want to start booking your tickets to go to these sales and go.
A lot of people come out there. Well, when I say in different groups, James, a lot of people come and buy their weanlings.
Yeah.
Then you get the breeders, the big breeders going out, and then they get the guys who buy the yearlings.
But they can get hold of you, and you'll be able to help
them
through it.
Yes. As soon as the catalogues are out, we'll get them out. And James, talking about that, what about Green Street Bloodstock?
Unbelievable. Had a winner in Singapore, amazing. The second runner won. I think our man Justin was there.
Fantastic.
And he got a couple of guys to support him. And
that could only be a stepping stone. Who trained it? Was it the wedding singer?
No, it was trained by a guy called Peters. I think his name James Peters, youngster there. He's got a 16% strike rate.
Oh, very good.
And apparently Gareth Pepper had a lot to do with it. So Gareth and Justin are working together. They bought this horse in New Zealand. From what I could read, I haven't spoken to anyone concerned, but they bought it in New Zealand on a sort of share basis, whereby the people in New Zealand retained a share, and they sent it there to this guy in Singapore, and it won. And that's fantastic,
That's
Justin
fantastic.
for Mark, innovative young man.
Yeah,
really
well done to Justin
very
for Mark.
well.
Green Street. Are you thinking of opening one, maybe the Green Teeth Syndicate?
Yeah, that
would go down well.
Go down well. There are a lot of people that could join as well.
I know a few who could be in your Green Teeth.
We'd have you as an honorary member, being a member of the Yellow Teeth Syndicate.
That's right. Yes,
we would have you as the Green Teeth because it's close. Yellow and green is close.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah, but the Blue Tooth Syndicate is the one that you really want to be involved.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right, let's look at a horse that's going to be. Well, you were telling me, is it King's Barn from Drakenstein? They're going to sire to both hemispheres because he has a slight. Is it a fertility problem, James?
Yeah, he's certainly he's not infertile, but he's certainly got fertility problems, and as a result, they're going to start him on the 15th of February. So they've obviously started covering mares Northern Hemisphere time. 15,000 rand. They've kept his service fee at. He's a son of Galileo. He's a magnificent horse. Aidan O'Brien trained him. It was a very good racehorse too. And they're trying to get as many mares in foal as possible, obviously, to him, which I think is very innovative. And well done to Gaynor for putting something like that together.
So you've got a certain time that you can put your mares in. and then you got to go for the next hemisphere.
We haven't got the Tommy Hotspur up. That was a race on Tuesday. It was a Group 3, and I don't know if we've got it recorded, but it's not on our sheet here.
That's right. It won the Group 3. You're right.
The Tommy Hotspur was won by Grant Maroon. Okay. I hear mumbling in the background from
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Spielberg. Well, James, we'll show. We always show our group rate. We'll show it next week.
Yeah,
it's important.
And it was won by Grant Maroon. Jared Penny picked up the ride on the winner. Great Britain side, the winner and the third horse. Really good luck to them. It was fantastic.
Good speed stallion, this Great Britain, James.
Bred by Worldwise, and we'll show it next week. It's Great Britain's. A stakes-winning full brother to Cape Cross, so he's got a tremendous pedigree, and I'm sorry we didn't get that thing up because it should be there.
Heather Morkel, you were telling me, she's joined TBA. She was years and years with Some Hill.
Mickey Goss's right-hand girl. She's now joined the TBA, and that will be a
lovely person to deal with. Lovely person to deal with. I wish her well there.
Well, it's our last week having the Bloodstock South Africa as our sponsors. Unfortunately, they've moved on and they've got other things on their plates, but we're not going to have them on Winning Ways anymore. So as a goodbye to Bloodstock South Africa, well done on getting Heather Morkel into the hot seat. Let's move on and see what we've got in Your Call, where we're going to be chatting to Ralph Smart, the track manager at Greyville. And my goodness, this should be a very interesting interview. He's actually the grass track manager at Greyville, and he's now looking after Scottsville. You'll be able to ask him what happened at Scottsville, because I hear there's shenanigans going on there.
Well,
and
we'll
the
find
director,
out.
You'll be able to tell us all about.
We'll have a chat with Ralph and
get the lowdown. I want to know the lowdown,
the
nitty-gritty about the grass growth and all those type of things. Okay, we'll move on to Your Call.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Your Call. We've got Ralph Smart, who will be retiring from his position. He's been a state manager, Summerveld. He's done the tracks here at Greyville and at Scottsville as well, so he knows his way around. And Ralph, thanks very much for coming in and having a chat with us, because there's a lot of questions I've got to ask you as we run towards our winter season. But firstly, let's talk sport. I always have a moment of sport with you. A lot of people don't know you're an international cyclist. Ralph was one of the great cyclists of this country. Short course was your best.
Yeah, I was more the track, eh?
Track.
Yeah.
And over the years, we've seen cyclists come and go. I remember, my accountant, Derek Ramsey's father, John.
Yeah, he was
a Springbok
in the 50s, yeah.
Yeah,
he was Tommy Shardlow, Jimmy Swift, Ray Robinson, all those gems.
You know them. So these are the guys you looked up to.
Yeah, and then these are guys that had nothing, and they started with no finance. And you take a guy like Jimmy Swift.
Yeah.
Probably, if you look back, you probably find he's the best cyclist we've ever had in this country. Or if you look what he had and what he achieved, I mean, as far as Olympic Games, unbelievable. Eh?
Unbelievable. And then the Johnny Coons, yourselves, all the way down to sort of the Malcolm Langers, all great cyclists in their own right.
Oh, yeah. And I think you probably found the 60s, 70s, the support was magnificent. I mean, at that old Sax Young track in Maritzburg, you used to have a Tuesday night league there until Dallas arrived. And we used to get like 15,000 people there.
Yeah.
I mean, same at the old Durban track.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I think it's the same with all sport. Everybody is gone, and then the road cycling became big. That report tour came in, and a lot of money came in. So a lot of guys moved from the track to the road, and that gave it a little bit of a smack. But yeah, and I think
Ralph, it's taken a bad rap, cycling, because of the doping and these type of things. But today it's seriously well policed, isn't it?
Paul, I think, you know why the cyclist gets caught? Well, cycling catches the culprit, because they're doing something about it. Yeah. They're not hiding anything. I'd not say anything about other sports, but cycling, obviously through the Lance Armstrong saga, if you want to take a license out to ride a bike competitively in South Africa, you go to the South African Cycling Federation. They can knock on your door any time of the day or night and take a sample from you for that 12-month period, as long as you're registered. And they've got that blood passport, which the UCI keep now. So you can go for 6 dope tests in a year, and they just keep saying, keep comparing it.
It matches.
It matches, and that's the moment they pick up. Yeah. And they're doing a great job. And look, they're trying.
It's good for them. But money's become big.
Oh, serious, man.
Yeah.
No, it's ginormous. I'd hate to know. I think Sky, that Sky team, is something like 150 million pounds a year.
And they seem to be good. So let's move on to your field of expertise now. You got out of that and you got yourself involved with working on the tracks and working on the estates here, and you've seen it all. You've seen it all come and go. But I'm going to stop before I go on to turf, because a lot of people are going to be saying to us, well, the season's come up. We've had a few winter seasons where it's been a bit dodgy, the track. And someone like Robert Marvis was really adamant we had to get it right. We had to get it right. Are we on the right path this year?
Definitely, Paul. And when you mentioned Robert Marvis, he was an absolute gem, eh?
Yeah.
Nothing against anybody else. He was a support.
Yeah.
And nothing.
He was a hands-on man in that aspect.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
And you know, a guy with manners and integrity, very hard to find like him. You'd phone on a Friday morning and say, Ralph, it's Robert, do you mind if I come and walk your track?
Yeah.
I mean, the chairman of the company.
Yeah.
And if he couldn't make it on Friday, he'd say, do you mind if I come on Saturday? No, fantastic. Magnificent, yeah. And he was...
and I think it's helped turn your team around in the sense that your priorities are there. And you've had the double-edged sword of having to prepare a poly track that had teething problems when it started.
Paul, you know, when I started at Summerveld in January 1986, my old boss man was a guy by the name of Donnie de Toy, which people have all forgotten. And I will never forget him. The reason being, he was the man, a road engineer by the name of Kees de Waal, and Mr. Mike Rattray.
Yes.
Formed
Ex-chairman,
formed a thing, Natal Racing Training Services. And they invented, well, Donnie, it was his brainchild, is that when he got to Summerveld, when Summerveld was brand new, they broke horses down, everything was uneven, and he said they had to find something that was a light, fast working track. Let's get it right. Not all weather. That could handle bad weather.
Yes.
There's nothing all weather. Unless you're going to put a rubber surface down, and you know that'll do to us. And he worked tirelessly. And unfortunately, obviously the funds were tight in it. And it's like Henry Ford, or Carl Benz, when they invented the motor car. Look what it is today to them. Yeah. But it was the beginning. And then there was that, and you had your sand tracks, which, believe me, are absolute chaos.
What were the turf tracks like up at Summerveld in those days?
Magnificent. But Paul, we go there. I could talk to you for 5 hours, but it was primitive. Obviously the funds, and it was like everything else. You know, it was...
You had to make do.
Yeah, it was all fur coat, no brooks, you know. The no brooks was at Summerveld, and the fur coats were at the racecourse.
I do like your analogies.
Oh, there you go. Anyhow, I'll tell you how we used to put water. We had ladies with 3-inch hose pipes. And they used to stand there for them on a hose, and that's how we used to water the tracks. The sand tracks we had an old-fashioned water cart, and he fought tooth and nail to get things correct. I mean, brush cutters.
Sprinklers?
Put the sprinklers in, but we also came in for a bit of a hammering, who's from certain trainers about putting sprinklers. Remember, a sprinkler is designed to work under perfect conditions.
Yes.
So there's another thing.
No wind.
No wind. That's why nighttime. Then you'll get the green people say you water your plants at night. It's like in a bed with a wet bed.
Yes.
When does it rain? 90% of the time the rain comes at night.
Yeah.
So for us, as far as to get a perfect either as best as we can, is to put the water down at night with 0 wind tolerance. So all these things, and he was the instigator.
Ralph, you learned from them to what we're doing today with all this John Deere equipment and latest technology, it's still a very difficult task, because you can prepare a track, whether it be Scottsville or here or somewhere, and the meeting starts and suddenly there's a passing monsoon and the rain. What does your track look like the next day? Chopped up.
I know, poor. And you know the worst thing? It's when you get that soft, slow rain. When you get a deluge, poof, and it's gone, it's fine. But the moment after the one race, and then those divots just fill up with water. By the end of the day, I'll never forget one day at Scottsville, that we could have planted mealies there quite happily.
Is that right?
The divots must have been 10, 12 inches. It
Was it
like
a bog?
Absolute bog. And that also brings another subject, is drainage.
Yes.
You know, people say, oh, but you've got drains. Drains will only work once they've achieved saturation point.
Correct.
When we go back to school, and we have got a lot of philosophers in this business that know everything. You put a sponge in a Tupperware, and you keep pouring water, and that sponge will absorb it until it's saturated.
Yeah.
And exactly the same as your soil.
Yeah.
It absorbs, and then when it hits saturation point, then your drains will run. And when it's now the water, it's extra water is gone, your soil is still wet, and that's where you need the sun and the wind.
And you know, I'm going to touch on a couple of elements, but let me just get the poly track out of the way, Ralph, because that's in its infancy if one has a look at it. But really going back to when it started,
Sure.
I think we've taken great steps with,
100%.
with temperatures, knowing the ideal temperature, how to put the water on it. In the early days, when you guys started doing those temperatures, there was massive changes in temperature.
Ooh, Paul, it was the first one we put in at Summerfeld. Remember, they all started there. And then that's where they got Mike Ratway involved. He put the finance. And then they sold the patent rights to Ontaquai in England.
Yes. Here's a photo of the poly track alongside and
The grass, yeah.
Alongside the grass. I don't know when this was taken, but it looks in good nick, both of them.
Yeah, it was probably July week when they had somebody flying over, when they normally do.
2 months ago.
Okay, there you go. So something else we knew nothing about, eh?
Yeah, you can see one of James Goodman's golf balls against
There
the side
we
there.
find a few of those.
Yeah, we find.
But also, when it first started, there was an oil, not wax like we use today. So, of course, what happened, and you'll remember, when you worked in the morning, it was quite firm. That's why we had to harrow it at 3 o'clock to beat Johnny McCready.
Yeah.
But by 9 o'clock, it was soft. That's why they went and they said, okay, let's try something. They removed the oil and started with wax. So it's progressed to what they've got now. But there's been a lot of pain and suffering.
The comments that I've seen, speaking to the vets, is that initially the attrition rate was quite high, and horses were coming back with problems with their legs. It's got better and better and better. And a lot of people are racing their horses consistently on the poly now, getting very good results and getting very sound horses. That's a great compliment.
100%. But Paul, remember, it's also a great learning curve for us.
Yes.
It's not to get the book and you do this. Your weather conditions play havoc here, and especially in Durban. You know, you can still be sitting at 30 degrees at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So, and you can't say, right, tonight we're going to put so many loads of water, this and that. So also the feedback from the jockeys is most important.
Yes.
And Anton Marcus is probably the best in the world, but he's a real professional.
He's a professional, yeah.
And he'll tell you if there's something wrong, needs water, this, that, and harrow. So it's been a big learning curve. And what you've got to also, we go back to where they say it's all weather. It's not all weather. You get a deluge of 100 mils, 120 mils of rain. It percolates through, but it goes slowly. But what it does, it actually starts to compact from the bottom up. That's why you've got to get the power arrow in and work it. So you break all of the compaction up and you loosen it all. And then you start working it back with your gallop masters.
Have you found a temperature or a figure which eliminates a lot of kickback?
When you're in your 20s,
Oh, is that right? You get a perfect scenario.
In midsummer, we go up to 64 degrees.
Wow, so how do you get it down? Water?
But you spray it with water.
Yeah.
And remember, that 64 degrees is only sitting that much. The further down you go, it's quite cool.
Yeah.
So you just got to cool it down with your water and then harrow it so it mixes it. So we've had to do it after every second race.
All things being equal, we're going completely in the right direction with our poly track, which is great news for people out there.
You know what is so good is when the guys from the Polytech boys coming, and they every 3 months and they come and have a check, and they're all happy with how we're doing it. We've had to re-level it once,
yes.
Obviously with the machines where your pens go and the arrows, the surface moves a little bit, but very good. The guys are very happy, yeah.
All right, let's get on to the main subject now, the turf, because there's turf at Summerfeld, there's turf here, and there's turf at Scottsville, which play an important part. With the turf here, we have had flack over the past years. Graham Hawkins got all the directors in and showed us tracks going back the July week, the Derby week, so we could have a look at the different surfaces and see how we had to get it right. And it seems like you guys have got it right. There's been just positive feedback. We raced it yesterday. You guys, through the management here, have implemented a system whereby we should race X amount of times and have X amount of time to repair. Is that right?
Correct. You know, it's like everything. We've gone through a serious lot of pain and suffering. They put the poly track in, marvellous idea. But what we did is we had a 32-metre grass track. We've now cut it down to 16 metres down the straight. Probably around the turn we can squeeze in 19 and a half, 20. But that's created one ginormous problem.
And that is?
Is that before we did the construction, we could have 22 rail moves.
Yes. Now?
Now we've got 6.
Ooh,
so, and you've noticed with the topography of that track now, no matter where you got your rail, the horses come off and they spread right across the track.
Because of the narrowness?
I don't know. I think it's just now we've moved them out wide. In the old days, when we came back through the inside, I mean, we only used the inside strip twice in a year. 22 moves, you got 44 race meetings. We used to have 41. Now, if you notice, very few go right against the running rail, even yesterday. I think one...
Ralph, can I just ask you to pause while we cross over for an outside race?
No problem.
Thanks. Welcome back. Ralph, get back onto those false rail positions in this.
So what happened? So with that 32 metres, we could manage this properly. But we also had a serious problem. I remember one year that Trademark won the July.
Yes.
It was looking a bit bare. Gold Circle have tried a lot of innovative ideas. Remember we had that 3-night slammer. It was the Thursday night, the Friday night, the Saturday night, then the Tuesday night, then the July and the Saturday. Now in midwinter there wasn't too much left as far as the grass is concerned.
Yes.
I think they did it 2 years in a row. And then we had to use a grass light to try and green it up. So there's all these things, and to manage your grass track is important through doing it through your program. Now, Clearwood was magnificent. 70% of all the races were down the straight. It was 35 metres wide, but very different to Gravel, your grass growth, your soil, and your weather conditions. So Scottsville, very different. Summerfeld, the best in the world.
Is that right?
Magnificent.
It's a great training centre, really. No one can say it.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And I mean, the grass tracks at Summerfeld are utopia.
Yeah.
The reason being is that you manage it, you strip it, you put your strips, and away you go. We're a racetrack. It's so different. Now, if we had a look on Saturday, it must have been 38 degrees here.
Yeah.
I know Scottsville got to 40.
Yes.
So there's all these things you've got to take into account. And I know the guys all want to, grass is the racing surface. But we take flack, and especially through that African betting clan. And the most disappointing thing, Kurt, through Craig Udy, invited anybody, come and have a look and see how we do it.
Come and
And we had one guy.
So you got an open door policy. Let the critics come.
100%.
Let the critics come.
There's some serious punters come here.
Yeah.
And they've been here for years, and they never miss. And when I first came to Gravel, the guys said, they thought, I think a lot of people still think it's a mystery. And there's skullduggery and all the rest of it. I mean, it's a modern society with all our modern technology. So I said to the guys, come along on a Saturday. When I said at 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll show you how we do the penetrometer. Yeah. All of them arrived. They got you on the Friday, and how we do the false rail. Today, they're happy people.
That's all. And I think this interview here, Ralph, will help people work it out, because you guys have progressed right now to the importance. You were telling me how the importance of the route, how much depth of route you got, is very important, because it's much better at Summerfeld than Scottsville. Is that right?
Correct. But also, you reference my good friend Dr. Brian Baker. Racehorse at full gallop, 13.5 tonnes per square inch. So what we try and achieve, what you should achieve, is to get your root structure as deep as possible. Because remember,
how do you do that?
Well, we've all got these nice young guys that come from tech.
Yeah.
They've all got very different ideas to us old-timers.
Yeah.
But the houses they built 100 years ago are still standing, the new ones are falling over. Now, you've got to feed, it's like a baby. You don't feed a baby properly, it's going to be sickly.
Yeah.
You've got to feed your roots. First of all, you need to take a soil sample.
I was going to ask you about soil samples.
You can take a soil sample.
You get it analysed.
And you send it to Sadara, because Sadara are not there. They're not fertilizer salesmen.
Yes.
And I think we're falling in that trap. And our hierarchy also believe in these gentlemen that arrive, knock on the door, we'll get this, right?
Yeah.
But they don't do a soil sample. All they want to do is sell you something that makes it green.
So you guys are above that now. You do soil samples, and it's been very good, hasn't it?
100%. So you do a soil analysis, and they tell you what you need. So you fertilize your program according to what your soil needs. Then you need to take a water sample with all the garbage that's coming into our water courses,
yeah.
impurities. It's essential. And also you take a plant sample, because the plant will tell you I'm not strong, I'm weak, and this is what I need. So you get a lot of fertilizers today, which you just spray. So all you're doing is you're giving your plant a little bit of sustenance.
Yes.
And a lot of the guys, Donnie taught me, it's like having a beer. I got a philosophy. You're going to have a beer, have a case. You put water, you put
I
25
do like
minutes.
you a lot. I really do like you.
There you go. We can have a go, no problem. I've been with you a few times, so you know. I believe when you put water, you put 25 millimeters, and then you stop. Now what happens is your water goes down. Now your root gets thirsty. Hey, now I've got to work, and I start going down. It's like you've now put a granular fertilizer that feeds the root. So now it goes down because it starts to leach.
So as much water as you can, because have you ever seen grass around a leaking tap? It's always beautiful, lush, big.
Yeah, but
green.
remember, it's going to stay like that. It's like what we're doing with the guys they put folio feeds down, and they put 3 millimeters of water a day. Give it 10 minutes.
Yes.
All you're doing is you're feeding the plant, you're not feeding the root. So of course, the plant is happy because it's got nutriment and it's got a bit of moisture. It doesn't have to go and hide. Go and look for it.
Yeah.
And we look for root structure like that. So you cut a soil profile and you'll see where your roots are going.
So
we get an alga and you go down and you pull it out. And
it's very technical today.
But it's not, Paul. It's
not
basic.
It's what you have to do.
It's what you have to do. But we've got too technical.
Okay.
We've got too many salesmen in our business.
Sure, the new boys. I want to ask you about vertidrain. Now, vertidrain, explain to the public because we always say we're vertidraining.
Yeah.
What is that?
Vertidrain is probably the best machine we've ever imported to this country, thanks to Mr. Piet Matthijs at Newmarket in the old days, in the 80s. He was the first one to import the machine. I mean, it was in a marshland, a bog.
Yes.
Where he got this machine. Now, that machine comes from Holland, and they use it in the tulip fields to break compaction. Because, Holland's below sea level. And it's
so it goes into the...
It goes into the ground, and you get different sized tines, as they call them,
Yes.
like an oversized crankshaft.
You're right.
So about 100 millimeters apart, and that goes into the ground, and it's got a kick, and it knocks it back like that. So if you walk behind it, you can actually see your turf lift up. And where we get a lot of compaction, obviously from a horse, and from your running in your strips. So we like to do it.
So vertidraining, how often should one vertidrain?
Well, obviously on your usage, but I mean, there's a lot of new technology. We're now using a 13 millimeter tine instead of the big 25 mil, and it's a lot kinder to the surface. It is not as severe. But vertidrain is an important thing, and you get a hollow tine, and we go back to top dressing. Same as your water, it's contaminated. I mean, our municipalities don't look after the verges, and there's a goosegrass and all the weed seed that goes down.
So there's contamination.
So there's contamination.
Do you get it from the wind and all that?
Yeah, but it's more that comes down your rivers because we use a wash sand.
Okay.
But with the vertidrain, you get a hollow tine, and it goes in and it pulls the core out. You let that dry and you drag mat it. But you can't do it every year. So you've got to top dress. So that stops the foreign seed coming in.
Yeah.
Because here at Gravel, we had a serious problem with that goosegrass seed.
Do you still weed all the time?
Well, touch wood, we've managed to get rid of it, but you've got to keep looking. It comes through the fence,
Yes.
off the verges, and when it looks, especially when you see your spring treatment, and the seed can lie dormant for 30 years. And all of a sudden, this looks good, it looks just like a kuya. By the time you open your eyes, it comes up, and it's got a nice big chest, and it spreads. And what it does, it smothers everything. And when you pull it out the ground, the restructures the same. So you've got to pull that out before the seed starts. So, and you can't use a herbicide. Huh?
The question I've got to ask you, Ralph, I keep interrupting you, excuse me, is that we've done a spring treatment at Gravel in summer. Is that unusual, or are you just looking for the winter season? What are the reasons?
No. I think going that way is the right direction. The seasons are changing.
Yes.
When did we get cold? October, November.
Yeah.
And here we're doing spring treatment in August. There's no rain.
Yeah.
And I do believe if we can spread it out a bit.
No heat.
But then you need, remember, you need the rain and you need the sun. Eh?
You're right.
But then you've got to look at your racing program. So there's a bit of manoeuvring to do. And I think everybody's got to work together. It's no good, the guys like we go to Gravel. Thank God we're running every 3 weeks.
On the turf, yeah.
On the turf, a full turf meeting. It's no, and it didn't work.
This spring treatment in the summer, beneficial?
100%.
Are we going to be good for the winter season?
Correct. Let's go back to the 60s, 70s, and the early 80s. When did the Durban Turf Club do their spring treatment?
January.
In January.
Yes.
That's why everything went to Scottsville and cleared.
Yeah.
Because in the midsummer.
Yeah.
With our water system.
Best growing time?
Yeah, it's in the middle of your growth season. I mean, you fertilize and we can put water and the rain, and it helps. Let's look at Turfentine. To me, the best track in the world.
Turfentine.
Turfentine, the grass-wise.
Have you ever been to Borrowdale, just changing tack?
Yeah.
That always looks good on TV.
But I went in the winter and it didn't look so good. But I probably, if they had the love and care that Turfentine get, it'd probably be exquisite.
So Turfentine, great track.
Yeah, because it's in the right place. It gets dormant in winter. The frost kills it. If you look at the leaf, ours is thin. Theirs is big and strong. When do they have their summer cup? They don't run 40 meetings before they have the summer cup. It's the first meeting back after the spring treatment. So they come back and it's perfect.
So they're catering for the big horses, yeah.
We can't do that.
Yeah.
But by doing it in January, it's going to help. Eh?
Yeah.
We manage, they do the program properly. Remember, we got the best horses in the country.
Yeah, over the winter season.
Over the winter season.
Yeah.
And if we work our grass track properly, we'll be fine. You know, there's nothing worse than having a bad surface. Because it's not fair on you.
And the flack we take.
But not only that, it's not fair on the guy that are putting the punters. Eh? They're putting the money down.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people we've got to look after. And by trying all these things, it's going to work. You know, we have good equipment now.
Yeah.
We have proper water systems.
Okay, so you're comfortable with the way we're going with Gravel. Let me talk to you about, you said 70% of races at Clearwood, you sweep up the straight now. Now they must have moved the bulk of those to Scottsville.
Plenty.
How is Scottsville doing?
Well, the straight gets panel beated.
Yes. But we've got two tracks, inside, outside.
Yeah, but I think what we have to do, we have to start doing. Remember they have the biggest sprint day in Africa, the end of May.
Yes, 4 Group 1s, yeah.
That straight should not be used a month before.
So you go around the bend, inside track, round the bend, inside track, for those meetings.
Yes.
And then you come to a plush surface.
They come to the Togo Sunday. Now you got Utopia. The question I ask, and I keep getting shot down. Here at Gravel.
Here, this is Scottsville. Sorry, I just want you to... there is the back straight we can see in the background. Now they're coming around the bend here. There's the ambulance track on the inside. There's no rail, it looks like.
No, well, it's obviously not in
preparation stage.
Yeah.
And now there we're getting your sprinklers on. Now, Ralph, as you turn it the straight, there's your sprint track where the water's going.
Correct.
So you'd ask us to run up this inside track for...
The month before the Togo Sunday.
3 to 4 weeks before that, yeah.
The reason why I asked the question, at Gravel, every start is from the 1600 round is on the turn.
Yes.
And the 1600 is the worst of all, but we have the Guineas, we have a lot of Group 1s there.
Yes.
Nobody complains. Why can't we, at Scottsville, jump from the 1200 on the back?
Do some sprints around a corner. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But
how is the track there around the corner? Is it
very
strong?
good.
Very good.
Remember, there it's easy to maintain. You can move your rail. Eh?
Yeah.
You can manage it.
You've got that flexibility.
Yeah. Where you're straight, you can't. And now, what we've got to keep looking at the wear and tear. What they had to do last year is put a rail down the straight to keep the horses off the inside. But then the problem comes, how far out can you come? Because you've got to wait for the final fields.
Yeah.
Or you've got to restrict your fields to 12 runners.
Are you talking both courses?
No, I'm talking about the Scottsville Straight.
Yes, okay.
So is it fair to the owner? They say the ideal field size is 12. But I mean, in the season, the guys want to run, eh?
They want to run. And you've got those big races. They want 16 going up.
That's what I'm saying. If we look after that straight, come Togo Sunday, magnificent. And there's ways we can manage things. I can understand.
But Ralph, just touching on that, you and your team are working hand in hand with Raf and his team with the programming and things like that. It's now got to a very good scenario.
Well, you can see, I mean, now we're running one every 3 weeks at Gravel. All we've got to do now at Gravel is the program goes out. First of all, I understand, I don't train horses,
Sure.
But the program goes out. I used to ride a bicycle and you know how to program yourself. So when the racing program goes out, you know when your distance races are, so you train accordingly. If we can have this meeting 1,600 meters back, the longer distances, so we can put a false rail up. Then we can come back 3 weeks later and have all the shorter distances.
Yeah.
But also, not in the off season, we can, when the final fields come out, we can still maneuver a bit of a rail depending on the field sizes.
Yeah.
But come the season, we can't do that, Because come the season, we've got full fields.
Your critics will say, we don't want to have it looking like a bowling green. We want it for racing. Turf is for racing. Give us our turf races. We want them. You look at Wimbledon in the second week. It's been used, but they don't stop playing. So those are the critics. You got the demand from chairman and the board asking you to give them this pristine services, and you've got the trainers and the owners asking for more turf races. Is it hard to balance the two?
Paul, the question I need to ask you, why do we have to destroy it when there's a solution to the problem?
Sure, fair enough.
The question I ask the guys, if they go to a restaurant and they have a bad meal, do they go back?
Not normally.
No, not normally. So we can't do it 100%, but we can get 95%. So why shouldn't we be doing that?
By changing services.
Let me tell you, you know how bad I feel is when they have to put a horse down.
Yeah, no.
And if you got a bad surface and you're putting horses down, it's shocking.
Yeah.
It's not only for us. You know, a lot of people say it's a tool of the trade. The people outside, they look at it and they say, hey, this is not right. What I'm saying is, why do we have to go through the pain and suffering when we can alleviate the problem?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I see where you're at. I'm just going to see if I've got any other questions to ask you, because we seem to be going the right way.
Yeah, and you know, it's like everything in life. You know that when you're kids at school and you see the two donkeys start together, you've got to heap a straw there, heap a straw one in the middle, and they're fighting.
Yeah.
So and everybody works together. I understand the owners buy these horses and they want them to run. There are not too many Johnny McCready's left that used to run them boof quick.
Yeah.
And it costs them money, and that I understand. But our job is to provide the best possible surface. I think a lot of people just think, it's a job. Certainly not with me.
Yeah. No, it's a passion.
I believe that when the horse walks out, and you know how proud we feel, not that anybody says it's good. Yeah. I don't think there was one compliment yesterday, but I keep telling the guys, no news is good news.
Yeah.
When you don't hear a word, happy chappies. The moment the bitching starts and horses are coming back lame, man, you start to worry.
Yeah. No,
and we don't want that. And we want, at the end of the day, finished, away we go home. No thank yous, as long as no horses break down. And that's what we aim to do.
To cap it all, I'm going to ask you, are you happy with all the different services, all different race courses as we talk?
Yeah, I must just tell you, Scottsville, there's been a bit of upheaval. And the grass was that long. I've taken an inch off it. The root structure was no more than 20 mils. We've hollow-tined it, taken an inch off, hollow-tined it, watered the hell out of it, and we verti-drained it with a 13mm tine. Thank God the rain's with us. We give a big load of fertilizer, and hopefully on Sunday. It's got to be the best. And I've told the staff, guys, we don't come second.
Yeah.
And Scottsville, it gets the frost. So it's also like Turfentine in a good condition. Maritzburg gets as hot as hell. And the kikuya has got to thrive. But you've got to feed it.
Yeah.
We've got to water it, and we've got to cut it every single day. You know, it's no good letting it like that and smack it. If you take 10 mils off, that's ideal. Because now then your grass does that, it doesn't do that.
So we set.
Lovely, 100%.
Ralph, thanks very much for coming in, and we will speak to you again before your retirement. Or you never know in this game, you could still be here in 5 years' time. But you're doing a great job, and well done to you and your team.
No, thank you, Paul. But one the guys must understand, we enjoy what we do. It's not a job.
Yeah, it's a labour of love.
You come here and forget time. And one thing, Michelle Nierek, being the scholar and a gentleman, I don't clock in and don't clock out. But I'm honest with my time, and that's what it is. If we have to go and come in on a Sunday morning, so be it.
Yeah.
And if you've got to finish later at night, so be it. But I think what we've got to do is, as far as the horse is concerned, the animal, because he can't talk, is make a surface the safest manner. And it keeps the owners happy, keeps the jockeys happy, and of course the punters.
Yeah, very important.
Because we need them, eh?
Yeah.
They're the guys that put in the money, eh?
Yeah.
And we keep everybody happy and to get the business going, because we're in dire straits.
Yeah.
So yeah, our job
Ralph.
is to make sure everything's perfect.
Thank you very much, Ralph. There we
you,
go,
Paul.
Ralph Smart. Very interesting. So those of you who are quick to put the boot in, a lot of work goes into it. It's a labour of love. It's a passion with these guys, and they want to get it right. We'll see you next week.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.